this is a super smashing little project, and it's the main focus of it is using that beautifully detailed die that comes in with your starter kit. So let me start off first of all by showing you how we get the shape, because if you look, this is one of those that folds flat to go in the envelope. Well, you probably want a 3-dimensional envelope, but still it's going to go in a regular envelope. It doesn't need a box, and then it stands proud of its own accord. So if we put that just over there, you'll see what we do is, it's actually really easy to create these. You need a piece of cardstock which is folded in half, and then the top bit is folded in half back on itself. So I've chosen to do one that's around about 4 inches wide by about 6 inches tall. Doesn't matter as long as you do that fold at the halfway point. Then you need to cut yourself a separate piece of card which is the same as your final card size. And how this all works is, you see, this bit here folds up into a 10-fold. So that gives you your base operation. And then this bit attaches to the top of here. And what we're going to do is we're going to die cut round the top here and round the base on this one. So let me start with the base. If you hold this as it is, I'm going to pop this down over the base. And this is what I've done is, you see, I've cut this to the width exactly of that die. So I'm just going to hold that in place, and we're going to send that through the machine. Now, it's quite an intricate die, so you can add in your metal if you need, but remember what I said, you should try and work without it, because you can always add it back in. So, I'm adding no shims there though. You do want to add your plastic one on and your magnetic. So I'm cutting face down, then I've got the plastic and the magnetic, and then right on the top there, that base cutting. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer it into the machine, wait till I know it's cut and pause it, and then reverse it back out the other way. And it's just got the added benefit of it sending it through the rollers twice. Now we can see there, now it's cut for the most part, but I've just got a few little bits in the middle that we're missing. So I am going to add in that metal plate. And this is the way you should do it. Don't automatically go in with your metal plate. Try working without it and then adding it in. The other benefit is you've got the choice of either embossing with this or not. Now because I've cut it again with the metal plate, chances are I'm probably not going to need to emboss it. So if we have a look, I'm just going to gently tease off that tape. It's a very low tack tape I'm using here. And then what I'm going to do is I like to hold this down and release up around it. Now it does mean a little bit of poking afterwards, but you can see those, because we added the metal plate in again, those are coming through and popping through absolutely no problem at all. And because we've had it through the machine a few times now, even though we haven't embossed it, it's still giving me a lovely finish. Now you don't need to see me going through and popping all these bits out, because what I've got is, I've got one here that I've done the cutting on. So here is one that I've done all that cutting out on. So you can see we've cut out the base part here. And what you're going to do is, on that top piece that comes through, you're going to pop your die on again, you're going to clear it out, pop it on again, send that through, and that will give you this sort of shape here. And you can see that that forms the basis of our whole piece. So to glue them together, you're going to put plenty of tape right around the bottom part there, and then make sure these are perfectly lined up. Okay, so that's going to stick on there, which gives us the base piece of the operation. Okay, so that's what we're going to do there, and then I'm going to move on to some embossing. Now what I've done is I've cut my cardstock exactly the right size to go on the front here, with a little bit of matting and layering from that purple behind. So they're already cut to size before we emboss them. It's really important. Do all of your cutting first, then do your embossing. Now I'm going to use the embossing folder that comes included in with the kit. And this is one of the 3D folders. So for a 3D embossing folder, you're going to use your base plate, you're going to add in the magnetic, then we're going to pop in our embossing folder and finish off the sandwich with your clear cutting plate. So that's different to the sandwich you'd use for a regular embossing folder. It's because we're working with a 3D embossing folder. Now, if we lift that out, you'll probably be able to see there if the camera can pick it up. We've got all those different levels of embossing. Now I'm going to use purple ink pad, and then you can either work with, I like to use these little dabbers just to pick up my ink. And you can see you pick up your ink onto the edge of your dabber, and then we're just working it in. And the more you work, you can see I'm putting more pressure around the outside and less as we get into the centre, and that gives you that real dimensional look. And you can always add more with this technique, but you can't take it away. Once it's on there, you can't take it away. So I'm using the Tim Holtz Distress inks. The other option is you could use our aqua pens and mix them with some of your glycerin to give you that same effect. You can see, so I'm getting a little bit of the purple going in, but then I am just going to build up more and more of that colour around the outside, just to deepen the shade. Okay. It just shows off that design a little bit more. Okay, so there's our purpley design. Now I've done that with 2 of them. Okay, so I've got 2, and I'm going to mat and layer them onto my bits of purple cardstock. And again, the tape pens are more than adequate because they're giving you a great all over background stick. There we go. And the added bonus of doing this matting and layering is it's just giving more strength to our base card. And because it's a dimensional card that's going to stand up, that can only ever be a good thing. So see, I'm going to lay one of these on the front there. And then I'm going to put one on the inside. Now, while we're still working on the inside, what I have done is I've just created myself a 3-dimensional flower, and this is going to sit right at that centre point there and form me a bit of a stopper. So I'm going to put a really large glob of 3D glue gel to hold that in place. So really nice big globule there on the edge, and I'm going to hold that in place there. And you see that will form, when it dries, that's going to form my stopper to hold everything up. Now not only am I going to pop that on, but I've die cut a couple of little leaves. So these are just some leaves from our die cut collection. And again, I'm just using that 3D glue gel to position them into place. And then I've also got lovely butterfly. So one of our skeleton type butterflies. I've done them at 2 different sizes, so I'm just shaping those wings up. I'm going to use that 3D glue gel again just on the centre part of the butterfly to manoeuvre that into place and hold that in place on the bottom there. And the glue gel takes around about 15 minutes to be touch dry, but you wouldn't want to be pushing anything on that for a little while. I've got another one of those lovely little flowers that I'm going to pop at the top. So again, nice little glob of glue, and that's going to marry in with my design right up on the top. And I do think I'll just pop a couple of little leaves around that there. But this time I'm putting the glue on the outside just to marry them up. So they're just coming slightly behind my other part. And then the last thing we have to do will literally just be to add that calendar. And that's going to add onto the front. Put these leaves behind each other. So you can see there, that's just wet coming through the back there, so I'm just going to give it a little bit of time to dry out. And then the very last thing is adding that calendar onto the front. Oh, I've got another little butterfly there I almost missed. Great thing about these skeleton butterflies is they really do shape beautifully in your fingers. Butterfly on the side there, and this 3D glue gel, it'll dry as though you'd used a hot glue gun, which is brilliant. My little calendar there, plenty of tape on these calendars, and then that's just going to sit on the front part there. And then when all that dries, that 3D glue gel is going to give me that total solid base ready to hold that in place.